Yo, 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 I hope you're enjoying your ride. It's time
For the Drive for Five.
podcast. Let's go.
Yo, 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 it's the Drop of Five Podcast. We are back, man. We are back. It's your boy, Coach Chris.
Boy, Coach Miles, we here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey. Real quick, man. Niner Nation, listen up, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I know we had a rough little out in the last couple of days, but shout out to y'all. I just want to give a quick shout out off rip. You know what I mean? We are here. We put it out, man. We put it out. It's a lot of talk about AFC in NFC divisional playoff weekend, or a conference championship weekend, I should say. I'm sorry. Um, Starting games, man. We started off with the Ravens and the Chiefs.
I think
Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes. Um, Interesting game, man. It was a little bit of a slow game. It wasn't a shootout like everybody thought it would be. 17-10. Um, the Chiefs turned out. Um, Patrick Mahomes 30 of 39,
yeah.
247, one touchdown to Kelsey. You had you Lamar Jackson threw two picks, one tub. Started off a little slow, man. Didn't really get into a groove of the game throughout the game, man.
Listen, man. Lamar did not play Lamar Jackson football. I think he was just trying to. I think he was trying to beat them off of things that they said they couldn't beat him off of instead of just being Lamar Jackson. I mean, I didn't see him running as much like last week against the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like there were more design runs. They got him involved early, and when they got him involved early, I think we obviously seen what that outcome was. But yeah, man, I don't know. I know Mahomes started off like 10 for 10, 11 for 12, or something crazy
Yeah, it
like
was some
that.
kind of crazy stat. I mean, he was going off on that defense, that historical defense. But
That during the pregame warm up. You know, warm ups, man. They got a little crazy, man, with Justin Tucker, man. Hey, shout out to the GOAT kicker, but you know they standing in the way, and Travis Kelsey and Mahomes is like keeps throwing his footballs and then holding things. I'm getting a damn cramp, man, just by thinking about it and laughing. It's like this is the AFC Championship game, and they keep throwing it.
man, it was an interesting game, battle of quarterbacks, man. We got our boy Coach Sube on the line, man. Tell us how you feel about the
I'm
game, Coach Sube.
I'm back. I'm back, man. Glad to be here. Man, let me tell you, man, that was probably the most disappointing game of the weekend. I think for all fans. Just wanted to see a much better football game. I think it was obvious that the game plan that Baltimore had for Kansas City on offense just wasn't fitting. I think the average football eye could see that they were doing things that they had no success doing all year. They went away from the run game. I think it was something crazy like six rush attempts.
Yeah,
Six rush
man.
attempts?
It was like
Baltimore?
six,
Six?
yeah, by
Like it just
backs. It was like a total of 8 rushing attempts by running
I
backs.
mean, I mean you got a home game with the weather under 50 degrees and raining and you're not running the rock and you're the top in the National Football League and running the football. That was just a little odd for me. Um, I mean, they spent the majority of the day in spread formation, something that I hadn't seen them. They just got
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews. They just got Mark Andrews back, so I thought we'd see more 12 personnel. But we didn't. We saw 11 and 10 personnel, and they just looked out of sync, man. They just looked out of sync. I think Lamar spent a little bit too long in the pocket. He had a couple times where it was time to pull it down and move the sticks. And for one reason or another, he just didn't. But I think the majority of that team is young, so that's a team that'll be back. But I think they definitely missed out on the opportunity to be playing in the Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
think I can speak loudly and say this weekend. It's tough for me to say because I'm a football guy, but this weekend the two best football teams didn't win.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I think the two best coaching staffs won.
Oh, okay. That's good to talk. That's a good note. That's a good note. But we gonna touch on that topic in reference to who's the in reference to the best teams that won this weekend. I just want to touch on that game a little bit. Reference to the Ravens and the Chiefs. I was expecting a classic between two quarterbacks, the duel. Um, I grew up watching that Ravens team of old with the Ray Lewis's and the Ed Reeds, and I listened to all the comparisons, and I started almost to believe it a little bit. And they 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 have all the potential to be it, but this is the reason why I named this episode "Still Little Brother." And 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 I want to touch on that, man, because in both games it showed that experience and already going through the process and the growing pains matters. And both the Chiefs and the Niners, and which we'll touch on later, showed that experience in these playoff games. The Ravens shot themselves in the foot. Lamar was hesitant. He wasn't his playmaker self. I felt like he left a lot of plays on the field. I felt like he was trying to prove too much that he could throw the ball and outduel Patrick Mahomes instead of just doing what he does best
Winning games.
and win the game. And I feel like the Chiefs experience show that they're just gonna take what you give us and we're gonna just deke and dunk it down the field. Patrick Mahomes was 30 or 39 for 247 and one touchdown. And you would think you complete 30 completions with Patrick Mahomes, you might be up in the 300, 400 yard range, but no, 247. It was the under
They
of
threw a
of
lot
the
of
day.
screens. They threw a lot of
They
screens.
took what they could get,
Yeah.
and it showed in their experience. And that's like you said, the coaching staff, that was a key part of it. Um, which brings me to one of my questions, man. This game, did Lamar Jackson blow this game, or was it on top Munkins, or both? Who do you see? How do you call that? Who bears most of the responsibility for this loss for the Ravens?
I think they weigh it weighs evenly. Players play, coaches coach, but I don't think either one of them gave each other a fair shot to win the game. You know what I mean? To put it as simply as possible.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. How you feel about it, man?
Man, listen. I think that they came into it knowing that uh, Kansas City was going to try to load the box up and stop the run. And they thought that they can come out and play action them to death, and um, it ain't work out. I think the play action game never, because they didn't run the ball. I think in the beginning, I think what got them so open and on that first touchdown was the fact that they
That's a
converted
broken play.
that too, but they were still able to run the ball on that drive. That 4th and 1, they ran, power. Boom, he hits up in the hole, little QB power. And what were they in, 32 personnel suit, something like that. So I
Yeah,
mean,
22, like
22.
22.
It's
Yeah.
So you think Todd? You think the month that goes on the OC for the game plan more than it falls on Lamar?
I I think it's somewhere around 60-40, 50-50. It's definitely around there. I know that
60-40 who?
60-40 either way.
Well, that's not really giving me. I go
Either
that
way,
I
because
guess you.
like here's the thing. Um, look. maybe he's thinking, "Hey, Lamar Jackson, you're a stud. Hey, I need you to bail me out here and let me find you a rhythm." And then I just think that they got away from what they do, and it showed. And so I
Well,
blame the OC because the OC got he calls it.
yeah, I kind of feel like that gotta fall on the OC. I know you want your playmaker to make
I'm gonna say
plays.
60-40 OC just simply because um I know what got us here, and I think that we should have ran Lamar Jackson a little more. I think we should have rolled him out a little more. I think we should have got him out the pocket. I think um, we should have got more in 22 personnel. Like, I'm sure there were a million things that he probably thought or wished that he can do.
Again, I only 8 design runs to the running backs throughout this game. Where I think that the Chiefs have their biggest holes is rushing defense,
Now,
and I fall and I kind of blame that squarely on the offensive coordinator. The reference is not going with what works, and that's running the ball. Man, I mean, I think the Ravens had some kind of crazy stat of 30 some odd straight games, 3 straight years of 100-yard rushers, and a rusher for 100 yards at least in the game. And this game they failed to do that, which means that something was completely off with the game plan,
well,
and they weren't down a considerable amount where they had to get away from the run game.
well, let me let me
Correct. Correct. That is the most glaring thing. They never had to until the last 4 minutes, the middle four of the fourth quarter, they never had to get away from running the football. They never had to. They were never forced to.
Right.
And they did it anyway. The only fault that I have on Lamar is that he is, if there's one guy in the National Football League that's good enough to play around bad play calling, it's him.
Yeah, I
And he
agree.
just wouldn't tuck the ball in and move the chains.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying?
I agree.
He wouldn't do it.
I agree. That's how I kind of seen it myself. I kind of felt like the OC was out to prove something, and it cost him and kind of bit him in the end. I think he thought something. He thought he seen something in Kansas City with them blitzing that he could pick up, and he thought he was going to dink it, dunk it down the field, and it just didn't work out that way. Lamar isn't that type of player, man. I feel like you got to do when you get to the playoffs. If you notice how they use Mahomes, or Brock Purdy when we talk about him and they call him a game manager, whatever the case may be. But when you use a player for the best way you know how to use him to win ball games, and then you just do what you gotta do to win the game, like Josh Allen did for the last 6 weeks of the season. Just do what you gotta do to win the game, and get to the next week. And I feel like Todd Monken's failed to do that this game, which kind of cost him a trip to the Super Bowl this week.
I agree. And
Yeah,
you know what? One last thing. The one glaring stat that I knew we had no little to no chance of winning that game when they played the Texans last week. Go Texans, by the way, we're having a phenomenal offseason. But but that damn Lamar Jackson, when he goes over 100 yards rushing, I think the stat line on them winning is somewhere like 90%.
yeah,
So like that to me, that was key.
yeah,
That's the going over that century mark rushing for me. I know that they're unbeatable,
yeah,
but
man.
they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a lot of the share the blame go around there, man. But just not getting your playmakers the ball is one of the biggest, and I think the inexperience of the coaching staff. Todd Monken's coming from college, as well as a little bit of Lamar just not trusting his legs, kind of cost him that game. One more question, man. Let's stay on Mahomes. I want to ask a question. I mean that's starting to beg the question. Everybody's starting to talk about in reference to this quarterback battle, and I'm glad we got you online here, Sue, in reference to this question because um, it's rare that you see a quarterback. Um, I mean, I wish I'm not gonna say it's rare that we see it because we have seen it before, but it's rare that you see it happen so quick. A quarterback reach the pinnacle so fast, and right now for Patrick Mahomes, vying for his third Super Bowl. I'm hearing right now, five in the AFC championships in his what 6-year career. Am I correct? Um, it's rare that people reach this pinnacle right here, man. Does Patrick Mahomes have a rival today in the NFL that can compete with Patrick Mahomes? And when you say a quarterback, that's like, all right, if the game's on the line and somebody has Patrick on the other side, I want to have him, who I know will give him a run. Do we have that in the NFL today?
Well, I'm not real big on quarterbacks being rivals. You know what I mean? I don't. They don't play against each other. It just doesn't happen. They do not line up on the field against each other. So I'm not into that so much because you look at it, it speaks volumes of what Patrick Mahomes went out there and did because everyone saw Baltimore's defense as the number one defense in the NFL, and Kansas City looked like it on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of a toss up with that. But I mean, I think you'd be a fool to say that there's a rival for Patrick Mahomes. I think that the only guy that's beat him is Burrow, right? So you
yeah.
could say you could say that Burrow is that guy, but I mean Burrow, they you
Bro,
know,
looking a little shaky. He's looking a little shaky
yeah,
right now.
yeah, he gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, you guys
But
stay healthy.
like we all thought we saw we were gonna watch that this Sunday.
Yeah,
We thought we were gonna watch the AFC battle for the next 3 or 4 years behind, by these two young studs, Mahomes and Jackson. We thought we were about to watch that, and I think everybody was a little let down.
yeah. I agree. I agree. You think he has a rival, Miles?
Man, Mahomes, man. Like I don't see nobody. Oh, right now, man. I don't see nobody really competing with him. When it comes to big playoff moments, like I think he could beat him during the season. But it takes a very extreme defense, um, disciplined defense to beat him. And I think we showed what the blueprint was to do it, and I think Cincinnati, right? Because they beat them,
Cincinnati,
right?
yes.
So they followed that, and I don't think anybody else has. The key is to hit Mahomes, but has he arrived? Yeah, man. Like I don't see until Andy Reid stops calling the play, and it's Andy Reid. Like we don't know shit,
That's
but
good question.
Ooh.
Speaking of,
but he makes a lot of plays.
I don't want to be off this topic real quick because I had something to say about Andy Reid, and I didn't add this to the questions, but it's something that I did want to know, right? And it's this is I mean I've been rattling in my brain because at first I was thinking like, yeah, but it's a real question. The greatness of Mahomes, it it could it be attributed? Is Andy Reid the quarterback whisperer, or is Patrick Mahomes just would have been that good no matter what team he went to? I want to know. Like, I need to. Let's have this question because I mean, we will go back to Andy Reid's history. Patrick, I mean, we had Donovan McNabb throwing for 4,000 yards.
Look at him.
I mean,
Yeah.
he had. Did he have Vic one year, or was that Chip?
Vic.
He had Vic.
Vic,
I
man,
mean,
he had,
this man,
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles throwing for 4,000 yards, 20, 30 touchdowns, one pick. Like he's done these things, and I'm wondering, like, are we is it Andy Reid, the quarterback whisperer, or is Patrick Mahomes really just that great?
Go ahead. I'll let you jump on that first, Miles.
Oh, hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you this, man. What I do know is I think Mahomes got incredible skill set, and I think it matches with the creativity that what's your boy? Andy Reid. Andy Reid has. I think when you put those two together, and it's magic, and I think that's what you're seeing right now. I mean, um, they understand each other. That he understands the system. He's been in the system. Andy Reid is pretty good with what he does, but this the have what they had with Hartman, uh, Hill, who was the other one?
Wait, what is it this year or
No, just previous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Terrell Owens when he was back with
they had some guys when they first kicked off
the Chiefs.
the Chiefs.
Yes.
Right, they
Kelsey,
had guys, and I think that he's shown that, hey, look, when you get the right guy in my system, and this is what happens. And now that they can stick anybody because it's a plug and play system, and Mahomes knows exactly, well, you only can play us this amount of time. So I think he's just ahead of the game because of the system that he's in, and that's what it is. And I think that is also why Tommy Buns was so dominant in that particular era. Like, you had the Belichick way, the Belichick system, and McDaniels and all them. They were there. It's the system. So it don't matter who the hell you come and bring in. All you got to do is get them to buy in just a bit, and everybody eats, because the quarterback is going to be ahead of everybody. He knows exactly where this is going to be open at, and I think that's what we're seeing right now.
That's a good thing. Hey, listen, Andy Reid had five. He went to five. I want to say five, 3 to 5 straight three straight NFC championships for sure with the Eagles back in that McNabb era. Unfortunately, Terrell Owens got hurt one of those years. Came back in the Super Bowl, ended up having a dog of a game. And another thing, Andy Reid has multiple receivers that he's put on the map where they become 1,000-yard receivers that you just wouldn't expect or contributed in some way, shape, or form. Alan, tell me how you feel, man. What do you think? Andy Reid or is Patrick Mahomes just propelling Andy? Who's the real GOAT here?
Man, we are watching, and I didn't really have a chance to step back and look at it until this playoff season took place. I really didn't have a chance to respect the body of work that Patrick Mahomes has put together thus far. I really haven't. Andy Reid, as y'all have already said, he's established. He's a Hall of Fame football coach. What he's done before Kansas City put him in contention, and now what he's done in Kansas City has made him a solid go in Canton. Now, I'll say this. What we have is a mixture of the perfect coach and a talented player. We're watching the modern day Bill Walsh, Joe Montana. Because schematically, what Andy Reid is doing, I think is at an elite level if we're going to talk about coaching concepts and the way he unrolls football, the way he still finds ways with rookies and underwhelming players to get the ball to Travis Kelce, where everybody knows that's where the ball's going on third and 7. He still finds ways to schematically free him up, get him the football, get him open, and allows those guys, just to make plays. He's doing what he's doing right now with a rookie, man, Rice.
Yeah.
Who has no business making plays. All the other guys on that roster have played very underwhelming, have kind of hung Mahomes out to dry one time or another throughout this season. So I think we're watching one of the most talented quarterbacks, and we're seeing the growth of him, because before he was making these plays just off talent. Now what he does in manipulating the pocket and moving in the pocket and climbing the pocket, he's created a science to this. And I'm surprised all these commentators haven't started studying it because I have. Um, he does some really special things with pocket manipulation that allows him to keep plays alive, still use all his what is his biggest talent that he throws at many different arm levels, so he can manipulate the pocket in different ways and torque his body in different ways and still get a lot of velocity on throws. All right, that's I mean allowing him to be the player that he is, man. And it's hard to defend. It really is hard to defend. You don't have to be great. You gotta be excellent in the scramble drill as a receiver, and you gotta catch the ball when it comes to you. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, we're watching. This hasn't been done before, Chris. I don't think it's been done before. What we're watching.
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot more to be done. I think Tom has gave us the blueprint of that, man. You know, in his early years, he was kind of running through Super Bowls himself. Obviously, not on this scale. He was more of a game manager. It was other players making crazy plays, but just the clutchness of it all in reference to just winning. Because you said something last week, man. We had this conversation. Quarterbacks is mentioned on one thing, man. That's winning. And right now, what Mahomes is doing is comparable to what I've seen in the Tom Brady or early Tom Brady era. Probably more. Just with the same type of quality coach, just more so on the offensive side. So I see the greatness. I do see the greatness. But I do think he also have a rival. Now this is gonna bring me into the NFC Championship game. Lions versus Niners. I got
Man, we
You
been
hear you hear this, Miles?
yes, sir. I'm
nah,
here.
bro.
Oh
I want to
man.
talk. I want to talk. I want to talk. I want to talk. Man, hey, listen. What a game in the NFC Championship. Niners versus Lions. Niners pulled it out 34-31. Lions was up 24-7 in the first half. After dominant performance by the Lions, man, I'm not gonna lie, physicality all the way through. They were up 24-7. Three, four rushing touchdowns. I want to say three rushing touchdowns in the game. Jared Goff was lights out, throwing it all over the place, and then some things happened, man. Second
Yeah,
quarter,
the boy started shaving points.
let's
That what happened.
you know, everybody got a story about something being rigged until it's their team. But let's keep the story going. Second half, Dan Campbell goes for it twice, for fourth down. Both times in field goal range. One, two passes by Josh Reynolds, a miss throw or an errant throw by Jared Goff rolling out as well. Leads to the 49ers coming storming back and Christian McCaffrey putting it in his zone. Um, hey man, just run off some stats real quick before we go to talking about the game. Jared Goff 25 of 41 for 273 and a touchdown. David Montgomery 15 carries, 93 yards for a touchdown. Laporta 9 catches for 97 yards. And your boy Amon St. Brown 7 catches, 83 yards. Jameis Winston, big time player in this game, one rushing touchdown. Yeah, Jameson Winston. Williams. I'm sorry. I don't know. He's on my mind. James, shout out to James. He's on my mind, dog.
James.
He's on my mind, dog. You're on my mind, man. Eat them dubs. Brock Purdy ended the game with 20 for 31, 267, one touchdown, one pick, five rushes for 49 yards, big times in the second half. Um, and Christian McCaffrey 20 rushes for 90 yards in the game. Hey, big game, man. A lot of quirky things happened. Um, we were down at half. I know we were texting at halftime. We was doing a lot of talking back and forth about what was going on in the game. Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm definitely want to say my piece, but I'm gonna let y'all get y'all off y'all chest first, man. Miles seems like he had a lot to say last night. So I want how you feel about the game, Miles. What do you think in reference to what all transpired with the Niners 49ers last night?
I think that um, the Lions made some mistakes, and a veteran football team took advantage of it. Um, I just I think that hey on that third and because I think your boy missed the field goal.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we missed the field goal at the beginning of the game.
No. When Josh Reynolds dropped that third and
No, sir. No, they
Was it
no,
the
no.
third down? That first drop he had, was that a
What are
third?
y'all talking about?
That was a 3rd and 10, right?
Yeah, the first drive he had was a 3rd and 10.
Right, and then they turned around and kicked the field goal, and they missed it.
Who, Detroit?
Yeah,
I don't believe Detroit missed the field goal.
no, something happened because the Josh Reynolds started it. Then y'all turned around and scored. Then came back and you fumbled.
Gibbs fumbled.
Ran around. They
went
ran
for it on
around.
4th down is what happened. They went for it on 4th and 3.
Man, the fumble. The fumble ain't happened on no 4th down.
All right, Miles. You're not on the game. So look, they went for it on their first after we went down the field on halftime. We went down, kicked the field goal. They got the ball back, and they
Josh Reynolds had to drop.
Josh Reynolds has a drop. Then they went for it on 4th and 3, and they had the incomplete pass. Right.
That's what happened.
Then we went down again and scored.
Right. Then the next possession was a fumble.
Then the next possession was a fumble.
Right, but that wasn't no 4th down.
I understand that.
First down.
But you skipping the point. We're talking about the 4th down after the halftime. You confusing the 4th down and a fumble in the same drive.
What led up to all that is what I'm saying.
All right. Okay.
The chain of events. You're asking me about the game, and I'm giving you the chain of events of how everything happened in a split of 7 minutes.
Yeah, I understand that. But the first mistake was the 4th down that they went for and they missed.
And he missed. But you get the first down with the catch by Josh Reynolds. That's what you're supposed to do.
That wasn't a mistake. They had a good call on.
I think it was a great call.
That was a ball, and he dropped it.
He dropped the football.
He dropped the football. Point blank period. Y'all go down, score. Whether it was a field goal or a touchdown, who cares? It was a score. Then on the ensuing possession, they run the wrong play. Gibbs go the wrong way. Fumbles the ball. Never really.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then what happens after that?
Turning in for another tug.
Now, is that the same drive where Buddy, the DB, makes a hell of a play, then it bounces off his face mask and IU catches the ball?
Yes, it was.
Now, what down was that? Because that wasn't the first or second down.
That wasn't on the fumble. That wasn't on the fumble drive though. We punched it in the end zone with Christian McCaffrey on that one.
But something happened that drive where y'all had to. It was a big either 3rd down.
It was the drive. They stopped them on 4th down. On 2nd down, they play action went over the top. The guy dropped the interception that turned into a tip catch. They handed it to Christian McCaffrey and went in.
Yeah, that was the second 4th down. That was the second 4th down.
Correct.
But these are the mistakes that I'm saying that the Lions made, and you let a veteran football team take advantage of it. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking in that kind of term because that's the chain of events that took place. And then he turned around and dropped another one. So now you cannot really get into a momentum. His goddamn, his confidence is shot because he keeps dropping passes. Now by the time they got it all together, man, they down 10.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about the damn 4th down that he went for. Like, he been doing this shit all season.
Yeah.
All season. That's what got him there. He did everything to get them there. And he wasn't changing that shit. That's what everybody's talking about. Oh, you should kick field goal. Man, that kicking field goals isn't what got us to this point.
So you're up. Here's a question. This is a very big question everybody wanted to know. This is and before we go on to you, Sue, I know we want to hear your side of everything. I want to ask Miles this question. You up 27-10, or you up 24-10, and you got a chance to kick the field goal in the NFC Championship game in the middle of the 3rd quarter. Are you saying you're not gonna kick that field goal on 4th and 3 and you're just gonna go for it, or you kick the field goal?
I think I kicked the field goal, but
that's the issue.
I think I don't think it mattered, man. I think because what they were what was the score at the time?
At this time, it was 24-10.
24-10.
24-10. It's a chance to go up 17, and you decide not to kick the field goal. You're up 14 in field goal range, and it's 4th and 3. You decide not to kick the field goal and go for the 4th and 3. All right, so this is why Dan Campbell's receiving flank, and this is why I was trying to discuss the sequence of events that happened that caused the issue. You're up 14, and you decide not to kick the field goal. I understand. I love Dan Campbell's way of thinking, but he cost him the game. But I'm gonna hold my peace. Soup, how you feel about the game, man? About everything that transpired?
Ooh, man. Tough one to watch as a coach. But you know, the Lions came out early and were themselves. They were dominant. They ran the football. They played sound defense. Brought pressure. Brought pressure well. Um, put San Francisco in some tough situations early, offensively, where they had to win some one-on-one battles that they weren't capable of. Great game plan. Just a great game plan. We're just watching them go up and down the field offensively. You could tell they had a great scripted idea the way to attack San Francisco defense. And then you see the second half come. And I agree with coaches. Coaches know their team. They know their temperament. They know how they respond and different things of that nature. So I don't question any of the calls that the coach made. But I know that watching the game, I could feel the momentum shift. And I felt like at that time where it was 4th and 3, and a 48-yard field goal, that was a tough decision for them to make at that time, right? And I know he went through all these scenarios in his mind. The biggest scenario that a lot of people don't know about because they're fans and not coaches or not don't have the perspective to think about anything outside of the fact that they didn't get the 4th and 3. The biggest thing is that kicker beyond 40 yards, between 40 and 50 yards, he was 50% on the year. So that was also on his mind. Do I put my kicker out there? It's a little wet. It started to rain just a little bit. We're in the NFC Championship game. This guy's been a coin toss all year outside of 40 yards at 50%. Do I do that, or do I keep my studs on the field and take a shot at it like we've done all year? And our percentage of making it on 4th down is higher than not making it. He made the best choice for his team. Now, where I have some hesitate, I didn't like the play call. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the play call. I thought he could have did some different things with quick game or some rub routes to free some guys up for a 3-yard gain and move the chains. But when you got guys dropping the football, just flat out dropping the football as professional athletes, it's not much else you can do. They made the calls, the throw was there. You gotta make plays. Bottom line. So I saw a game that really, I think, for three quarters, including that 4th quarter, the Lions outplayed the San Francisco 49ers. But boy, that 3rd quarter for San Francisco was just too much to overcome because of the momentum that they gained going into the 4th. Detroit had to battle back to start getting first downs again. And then one of the biggest things that holds true from this weekend, that as coaches you always learn: in college, you never count on winning with freshmen. And in the National Football League, you never count on winning with rookies. Look at both championship games. Flowers with the not smart play of sticking the ball out on the 1-yard line, regardless of how poorly you want to say the game was called or how poorly you want to say that Lamar Jackson played. They scored that touchdown they have an opportunity to win that football game.
Yes, tied up.
Okay. He doubled down on that before that by getting the personal foul penalty after the huge play, which is a rookie mistake. You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that in the biggest game of your life.
Right.
Spin the ball on the guy on the ground and then taunt him over him and then point in his face. Like you're making the ref's like, dude, I got no choice.
Right. Exactly.
I got no choice, man. You're killing me. You're killing me, killing you. And then you get into the Detroit game. That possession when Jahmyr Gibbs goes the wrong way, and then he has 2 or 3 times to simply say, you know what? I went the wrong way. Let me not make a bad play worse and fall down. He switches hands with the ball, twists and turns. He does all kind of stuff that you just don't coach, that you have to just give to the lack of experience and being in big positions like that. And that goes to show that you never count on winning championships with rookies. So that's why you see all these guys going to free agency to find winners and trading draft capital for proven experienced players. But that's my take on it, man. It was tough to watch that Lions game. It really I'm not against the Niners, but I felt like I watched Detroit more this year and kind of fell in love with their story a little bit, probably like the rest of America. And I really felt like they outplayed them. And it was really disappointing to watch that third quarter they had and the meltdown in the fourth.
Yeah. All that's good, man. I feel everything that everybody's saying, man. But again, there is a reason why I named this episode Still Lil Brother. And Detroit, man, I love Detroit. I love the way they play. I love their physicality. I love how they have a tight bunch. I love their coach's aggressive play style. It remind me of the early in 2019 the Niners when we went to the Super Bowl. It's a bunch of rookies playing their ass off. Debo was a rookie. Bosa was a rookie. We met Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and unfortunately, Garoppolo couldn't lead the way. But they remind me of that team. And Amon-Ra St. Brown reminds me of a young Debo. So I love everything about Detroit, but they're still Little Brother. And when the Niners had an opportunity to show it, when Detroit went to taunting, when Detroit went to doing little extra things, the young people mistakes, waving goodbye to the crowd in the middle of the second quarter, and doing all the above, and then you get down in the right before halftime, I knew the game changed. Detroit got down to the goal line and had an opportunity to punch it into the end zone and go up 28-7. And instead, we stopped them and they had to kick a field goal. That was a big win going into halftime 24-7, knowing we get the ball back. Because if it was 28-7, that game was pretty much over. But instead, they kept it. They gave us the opportunity. And again, sooner we got there, we got the ball back at halftime, went down there and got that field goal. I knew we was a play away. And that play away just so happened to be them dropping some balls. Again, Little Brother doing Little Brother things. And as much as I like Detroit, again, I fell in love with them too. They're just not ready yet. And the inexperience showed, and the experience of the 49ers showed. Brock Purdy, whether you like him or not, man, there's a similarity he's showing in the 2019 year when Patrick Mahomes was down in Tennessee. Remember, he was down in Tennessee about 24-7, and everybody was counting him out. And he came back that wild card weekend. Do everybody remember that weekend?
I recall.
It's giving me that type of energy. And he made a bunch of scramble runs that playoff run. And Brock Purdy did the same thing yesterday. Brock Purdy did what Lamar was supposed to do. Brock Purdy did what Lamar should have did, played outside of the system and make plays with his legs. And that's what he did. Those guys weren't open. Detroit did a great job in the secondary locking up those receivers on man on man. But when we had to make those plays, granted some of those a little lucky. Shout out to Brandon Ayuk, dog. You a real dog. I don't care what nobody say. You a dog. You a dog. Especially I don't care. Hey, listen, I don't care, dog. You
Shots
showed your
fired.
ass. You showed your ass. And Brock Purdy played outside himself to make those game winning plays. You can say what you want about Brock, but if Brock Purdy goes into the Super Bowl this week in 2 weeks, and he hands Mahomes a loss, Mahomes has a new rival because Pat, because this kid right here, Brock Purdy is undefeated in the playoffs every game that he's finished.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there's not a quarterback that can say they beat him and he finished that game. And Mahomes could be the next on that list. So we can say what we want about quarterbacks, but like Sue said last week, and how I kind of firmly believe myself, just like NBA players, you are categorized based on wins. That is your stat line. And Brock Purdy is a clear winner, and he's heading to the Super Bowl. That's my take on the 49ers Detroit game overall. Real quick though, I do want to touch on some of the things that happened that game. Obviously, yeah, we kind of touched on Dan Campbell making the right call and going forward on fourth down. Um, I, we kind of already touched on that, man. But do you blame the players or do you blame the coach? Like again, up 14 in the biggest one of the biggest games in your life. You're supposed to be there. You know, you got little brother, you got big brother on the ropes. You can really put him to sleep by killing them, by kicking the field goal. I know you said, hey man, he's 50% there, but like there's a to really cut the lights out. We know 17 points, 3 touchdown game or 3 score game is different than the 2 score.
Too, man. You gotta get no 6-7.
Yo, so
Yeah, I can hear you now.
yeah, okay, good.
So those 6 or 7 yard chunk run plays with Montgomery, they turn around and give it to Gibbs for 5, 6, 7. If St. Brown, because St. Brown, he had some drops. He had some real key drops.
Yeah,
You know, Josh Reynolds, he had some key drops.
yes, sir. Jared Goff missed Gibbs wide open in any route.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he missed him there, right? But we also not talking about that damn drop touchdown pass that Jameson had in the end zone against
Facts.
the double coverage.
Yeah, the wheel route. Yeah.
Facts.
That changes the game. So like we're not thinking about those plays that the Lions left out there and allowed a veteran team like the 49ers to stay in and eventually come back and win in that game.
So as a coach, real quick, Coach Miles, right? So does that play in your decision making when you are up again 14?
Everything plays in your decision making.
So I'm asking you, if you're up 14 and you've been this way all season and what got you here was going for it on fourth down, do you play it safer? Do you play it safer knowing you got the camps on the rope and you can knock them out?
You play because when you get to playing conservative, he's probably looking at it like shit. Get to playing conservative, get your ass whooped. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what that thought process was. I do know that Allen said something about the kicker doing that.
Yeah, he was 50. He was 50%.
Was coming into play. Just it being the NFC Championship and everything is riding on him. Like he like fuck it, we finna do this. Like that's the kind of coach he is, and I think that's the kind of players and the kind of team that he built, man. And like we're gonna get here by taking chances, and we're gonna live and die by these chances that we're taking.
That's my next question. So you're perfectly okay with living and dying by that, and if you lost that game like you lost,
If that's my
you're okay with
that's
that
my
loss?
philosophy.
Okay, so yeah, great.
That's
That's
that's my philosophy. Yes.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When he went out into his press conference, that's the first thing he said. He said, "Well, you know what? I had confidence in our offense."
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why he had confidence in his offense.
That's what they did all year.
That's what they've been doing all game.
Yeah. Well,
They've been doing it all game.
yeah.
The fact that
Hey, listen, I would have wanted to kick it if it was inside 40, 48. If it was inside 45, I would have kicked it. 48-yard field goal. That's tough, man.
That's it.
On the
It's
road,
definitely
on the
tough. I you
road.
see the Niners missed our first one. I think it was for about 40 something yards to start the game. So I agree. I feel like before you mentioned this that the kicker, I did kind of put it on Dan a little bit. Like, look, I love your mentality. I love how you're coaching it, but dog, man, if I'm up and I got the big dogs who I know is explosive and can win this game in any way, shape, or form. If I got the big dogs on the rope, one of those I'm kicking a field goal. Even if it was for the one to tie the game when you were down 21, 24-21, and all you needed was a field goal to tie the game. One of those I'm going for.
now to tie the game, I'm probably doing that, but man, I mean, this ain't what got us here.
I agree. But if I'm down in the NFC Championship game and I just blew a 14-point lead, yes, I'm
Yeah,
kicking the
yeah,
field goal. At
yeah.
this point, I need to
You
get
gotta
momentum
swing. You
back.
gotta swing back.
I need
Yeah, you gotta
momentum
swing
back. And
back.
instead, he decided to go
Yeah,
for it again.
well,
And then
kicking the field goal game.
and in that instance, I feel like that's with his dagger. And I screamed this, man. My lady can attest, man. I said, man, they should have killed it. They should have killed this. They should have took the dagger in the heart and put us to sleep a long time ago. But instead, you let Big Brother linger around. And the one thing about everybody that knows about Big Brother, man, the older brother, he got that grown man strength. He just got that grown man strength that he's always been stronger than you. So when it was time to show that, the Niners showed that. Like, okay, yeah, y'all here. Y'all have arrived. We salute you, Detroit, but we are still Big Brother. We still on the block. We're not old, flabby, and sick yet. And the Niners decided to show what they were about, man. I think that we just kind of showed up. That our experience showed. Um, Question, man. I probably already know how you feel about it, Miles, but I'm gonna ask y'all anyway. After this performance, after what we talked about and everything that you've seen, the playoffs and all that you know, Brock Purdy, is he legit, or are we still talking about an Alex Smith game manager type quarterback?
Um, I'll say that's to be seen. He's got the chance to write that story. He doesn't take that off the table with one game. That's just not how this game of football works. This is a game of what have you done for me lately? So if he goes to the Super Bowl and he shits the bed, they're gonna be saying same old Brock Purdy. If he goes and he shows that he can play, just be a playmaker like he was last week, make plays in the clutch, whether it be with his feet or throwing the football. Because we talked about him running the football, but he made some phenomenal throws down the stretch. Um, that was some tight window throws that are. I mean, there ain't a whole lot of guys in the league that can make. And you talk about his lack of arm strength and all these other things he doesn't have, but he made plays. So you kind of that's the beauty of this thing, man. Football, man. You got to show up and do it every week, or it doesn't matter. So I think it'll be one more step because this will only be what his sixth or seventh playoff game
Correct.
the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think he's young in his playoff career, but he definitely solidifies himself as Pat Mahomes' rival if he goes in and beats him because nobody's done it. Nobody can beat Pat. Nobody can beat Pat. You know what I'm saying? You can say that right now. Nobody can beat Pat. We thought we had somebody that could beat Pat. Lamar couldn't do it, and wasn't even
Wasn't
close.
even close, man. And it was that's disheartening to see. Miles, you want to go? You want to let me get my spill off where you. So let me tell you something, man. I watch and I do this. I'm a habitual highlight watcher. Right. So after the games, and I watch the games, and I decipher the games and seeing it. My lady, she gets real hyped about the highlights. So we'll go on YouTube and we'll pop those things on and we'll just watch them all day. And let me tell you something, man. I sat there and watched the highlights over and over again. And I seen Brock Purdy make two plays that both Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes made yesterday in a game that the announcers went crazy over. They went crazy over. One play in which that first touchdown by Lamar Jackson and Say Flowers, in which Lamar Jackson broke out of the sack and they were trying to grab his helmet. He kind of swung out of it and he looked downfield and pushed Zay Flowers up the field and he threw it up and Zay Flowers caught it for a touchdown. And I watched Brock Purdy do the same exact thing, scramble out of a sack, a Chris Jones sack, hit the sideline, hit Juszczyk with the toe drag for a
Yeah.
big first down completion in the fourth
Hmm.
quarter. Then I turn around and watch him do the same thing when he was scrambling to his I believe scrambling to his right. And he kind of got lost in the sauce and nobody could get open. And it was like 3rd and 3. And he was just looking and looking. And he went back towards the pocket. And I was thinking, like, what is he doing? And he throw it up high over the top of the D lineman head, and Juwan Jennings catches a big one-handed third down completion. And I watched Patrick Mahomes do the same thing with Kelsey, and everybody was in awe of, oh my God, I can't believe he made that throw. Brock Purdy's in his second year, man. This kid is in his second year. He's already been considered in the MVP rate. Now I'm gonna finish with Bill. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk.
He on
He's
his
in his
Niners shit
second
right
year,
now,
man.
boy.
This man is 6-0 in the playoffs. The one loss that they gave him, he didn't even finish the first 3 minutes of the first quarter. This kid is special. He is special, whether you call him a system quarterback or not. He is legit. And I'm gonna give it to you. He does have to prove it this week. This week is a big prove it game for a lot of our players. In 2 weeks, I'm sorry. In 2 weeks, he has to beat Patrick Mahomes to solidify himself as his rival. But I am gonna say this, and everybody's gonna hate me for it, and I don't care if you do. As of right now, he has solidified himself, if we go off of winning alone, as a top 5 quarterback in this league. And
Ooh.
those quarterbacks that you
You
love
hear
and
you
you
hear
dear,
this, Miles?
yes, I'm saying it. Those quarterbacks that you love and you dear to your heart, the Josh Allens, right? Those guys who's consistently done these miraculous things with stats and rushing yards and things of that nature, but throws 15 and 20 picks and never gets their team past the AFC Championship. This kid is showing you that he can do it once statistically by being first in a lot of the categories this year, right? As well as winning ball games. And you can say the talent is around them all you want, but every quarterback I know in their first 2 years had a bunch of talent around them because they were on the rookie deals, including Pat Mahomes, which he had Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, and nobody batted an eye about how talented he was. So I'm gonna tell you this now. He's not the most flashy, but this kid is legit, and I'm calling this number. He's a top 5 quarterback in this league. You can go
Well,
ahead and back that up, Miles.
yeah, go ahead, Miles.
I, I got a question. Are we having this same argument from you if he's not playing for the San Francisco 49ers? Like, I get what Brock does, man. I watched him at Iowa State a little bit. I see what he did there. He made them a contender over there, and he did some really good things. And he's not a bad quarterback, but I do think that he does benefit from a hell of a coach. I think he does benefit from a hell of a run game. Um, and I think he understands exactly, what to do when it's time to do it. So I guess, I mean, what puts him above the average QB, but I don't think that he's a top five guy. I would say top 10 for sure. The
Hey,
guy is
name five better real quick.
um
I want to hear this. This is the Drive for Five exclusive. Coach Miles is gonna name the Drive for Five top quarterbacks better than Brock Purdy right now on live on air.
well, I'm going obviously Pat Mahomes. Um, I'm going Lamar Jackson. I'm going Joe Burrows. I'm going Lawrence. I'm going
Who?
Lawrence.
He's going Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence?
I'm going Trevor Lawrence. I'm definitely,
Trevor Lawrence, guys.
I'm definitely going Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, guys.
Disrespect is on an all-time high
Yes,
on
it
Drive
is.
for Five podcast tonight.
I'm definitely going Trevor Lawrence.
Faithful.
And then I'm going. I mean, it's premature, man. But I'm going CJ Stroud.
You left off Josh Allen too.
Man, I'm not rolling with Josh Allen.
I got you.
I'm not rolling with it. I'm talking about just pure quarterbacks who I feel that when the game was on the line, this is who I want throwing me the ball. And like I do understand that um me and you were having the same conversation about Trevor Lawrence if he sat under Kyle Shanahan. Um, I believe that. I think he makes the same throws. He's doing it with lesser talent. I mean, it is what it is. He got hurt, things happen, whatever. But when we talk about just being a quarterback and going down and making plays happen, and who I want to 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 lead my team when it's crunch time, those are the five that I'm picking, and I'm not changing my mind off of that. Um, these are the things that I've seen, I witnessed with my own eyes, and if I can't trust my own eyes, then what else can I trust?
You same guy that thought Brandon Ayuk was an average receiver. He thought he was just a guy. He's just a guy. So
He say he's standing on that, Chris.
just a guy.
And then the reason is,
1,300 yards. He's just a guy.
oh man, we all know what he's benefiting off.
Hold on. So wait, he's benefit off of who? Who is Brandon Ayuk benefit off of now? So this is my question. See, the thing about it is Baker Mayfield can have a breakout year under Todd Bowles, and we can think that Baker Mayfield is bad.
I'm not thinking that. I didn't.
But Brock Purdy can't. Here's my thing.
So what's the point?
Here's my thing. Brock Purdy isn't doing the just basic things.
Man, Brock, pull his stats up.
Pull his stats up. He's number one in everything.
Man.
You my phone number is my phone. No, don't get hype all of a sudden. We were just having a normal conversation, and if you pull the stats and pull the stats up, because at this point we're talking about a winner. You have we just hold on, stop interrupting. Let me talk about my piece. We talked about the number one stat of a quarterback. Hold on, stop. We talked about his stat alone. This man was number one in QBR the entire season. You can't tell me this kid's stats don't match up versus your top five quarterbacks. And if you don't pull them up right now, your phone is free. Pull them up and look them up yourself. Secondly, this kid has not lost in the playoffs. He hasn't lost in the playoffs, Miles. So you're telling me you prefer a loser? You tell me. I'm telling you that how many playoff games has Trevor Lawrence won?
One.
Jackson won.
2, 3.
I don't know.
How many? How many playoff games has CJ Stroud won?
One.
The top 5 guys he's named, Brock Purdy has more playoff wins than all of them combined. What are we talking about? So when you talk, so for the second week in a row, if Brock Purdy played for the Patriots and he went and he was on this and he was on this immaculate run, and he was on this miraculous run, then we would consider
Brock on the most consistent team.
So he's on the
That's
most.
what he's been. That's what he's been.
So let me ask you a question. So guys
in the NFL.
So let me ask you a question.
Kyle Shanahan did the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, he did not.
Same thing.
Hey, y'all keep it so where we can hear what y'all saying.
What are we talking about?
So let me ask you a question.
The same thing with the West.
Pull Jimmy Garoppolo.
Same thing with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
Put Jimmy Garoppolo stats up.
Oh, man.
Put Jimmy Garoppolo stats up. No, we're talking about stats.
When the last
and you're talking about
quarterback.
You're talking about stats. Are you talking about stats or what? You just said put the stats up, and now you don't want to hear stats.
Purdy being on the most consistent team, and no, that does not make him a top 5 quarterback.
Who had a better QBR?
6-0 wins in the playoffs.
Who had a better QBR?
He's on the most consistent team.
He's on
the best team in the fucking NFL.
So let me ask you a question. Lamar Jackson from and let me ask you a question. Is Sue on the line here? Quarterback Google Sue. Lamar Jackson is on the best team in the NFL. Lamar Jackson's at home right now. Lamar, you hold on.
That's a fact.
No, cuz don't do that. Don't have favoritism in your conversation. Listen, bro, we talking about your guy that you just named as the top 5 quarterback in the league, dog. And this man has consistently bombed in the playoffs. Listen, let me finish talking. Your quarterback that you named, all of them in moments, and I'm not talking about all meeting Patrick Mahomes. They all didn't meet Pat Mahomes. They all bombed big time in the playoffs. On top of that, these quarterbacks aren't. When Burrow was number 1 in QBR, he won the MVP. When Mahomes was number 1 in QBR, he won the MVP. Guess what? The last 7 quarterbacks that was number 1 in QBR, they won the fucking MVP. But Brock Purdy's number 1 in QBR, and he's a fucking average quarterback. It's amazing to me.
He's above average.
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that when a guy isn't sexy, when he doesn't provide some sort of extra look, let me finish talking. Some sort of extra little that you say he's sexy. Garoppolo was our starting quarterback, man. We won a playoff game versus the Packers with him completing attempting 10 passes. He attempted 10 total freaking passes, and we won the playoff game. That is a testament to show you how good Shanahan is. I'm not going to doubt that Shanahan's a great coach, but at the end of the goddamn day, he needs a quarterback to get him over the top, and this is the goddamn guy to do it. We got a number 1 pick that we drafted.
He's good enough to do it.
We got a number 1 pick that we drafted, and he beat. Listen, the top 5 quarterbacks that you named can't get the job done. And they all had top 1 receivers. They all had weapons around them. Stephon Diggs is no slouch. Stephon Diggs is no slouch.
Who's the more? I didn't say Josh Allen.
So what do you? Okay, so let's talk about Pat Mahomes. He had Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. You didn't say anything about him his first 2-3 years when he was winning Super Bowls. Did you say anything about his team around him?
I didn't say anything.
So why are you criticizing this man for having a fucking team around him because he's on a rookie deal? Explain to me that. Next question. Stu, how do you feel about this, dog?
Ooh, boy, y'all.
You talking about because he's on a rookie deal for doing the same thing Patrick Mahomes did. What is the issue?
Don't talk about Chris's 49ers and that damn Brock Purdy boy get hot, boy.
To back it up. I'm telling you this.
This is what I say.
Because nobody said anything about the Bucks when they went. Let me jump. Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl. Anybody say that the Bucks? You didn't come out your mouth and say that the Bucks just an average team, because guess what? It shows that they are without them. But guess what? You were so behind in how dominant your team was because Tom Brady was on it. We know that Tom Brady's a freaking winner, and he's not sexy either. But his ass is winning Super Bowls, and y'all ass is scared of him his first 4 years. You know why? Because he's 51.
We would never have a fan.
You know why? Yeah, you never had the playoffs because y'all never made the playoffs back then. Y'all never made the playoffs back then. So you never get to worry about playing. We did, though. I'm sorry, we did. We had to worry about it. Y'all did. That's different. I apologize. Kaepernick and them, we had to worry about it. Y'all didn't. Understood.
That's crazy,
But the
man.
point of what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the kid is legit, and we're gonna keep this on in him. But guess what? We got 2 weeks, fellas, and we're gonna talk about this a lot more. We're gonna touch on this more. And this look got heated, but we got 2 weeks, and the proof is gonna be in the pudding. If this kid beats, and I'm willing to put a wager on it.
Yeah, I'm still not getting.
If this kid beats Mahomes,
Super Bowl champ.
yeah, well, we just can't. Hey, listen. One thing about it, man, you can't please a hater, dog. Trent Dilfer did not win a Super Bowl, being number one QBR. Trent Williams never won.
No, look, listen. Let me jump in real quick because we got to get one thing straight. You can't deny what he's done this year. You can say that he's done it because of the guys surrounding him and yada yada yada, but his QBR is based on his performance and his performance alone. So you gotta put some respect on that. I think that he's getting better at the right time, and he's playing beyond everybody's expectations right now based on what he just did in the playoff game. He is, but I urge you not to forget about the guy who he was in the first half of that game.
Oh no, I agree.
Because he wasn't a world beater. He wasn't the guy that showed up in the second half and made all the clutch throws, made every necessary play to kill the clock and move the chains. He wasn't that guy.
I agree.
So for me watching him, he gotta play at that high level more consistently. And then when I look around and see the pieces that he has around him, it makes me want to see it even more from him because he doesn't have to shoulder worrying about winning the game. He don't have to do that.
Yeah,
he has to be consistent and be a great decision maker and distribute the ball. And he's done that. He's done that very well this entire year, might I say.
the entire year. And I'm gonna say this.
So
He has a chance. And I text this in the group chat. You know, y'all can confirm when I text. I said he's writing his story. And he's in the process of doing that, man. The greats, all the greats done it. They had a moment where they were, down. The Niners, we're 0-30 under Shanahan when we're down by whatever in the fourth quarter. And in 2 weeks, this kid has changed that stat to 2-30. And it's just it's just the it factor. Some of the things that the other quarterbacks got, it's like, yeah, he's good at this, he's good with his legs, and he's good with throwing a rocket, and this guy's good with breaking out. This kid just has the it factor that hasn't died down yet. Now you can say it's a fluke, but until it's a fluke, you gotta show me. All right, you gotta beat the guy until you tell me he's a fluke. So all shout out to Block Party, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm riding with you. Niners Nation's behind you. The faithful was rocking with you, dog. Don't let the haters get to you, man. You gonna keep having them for the rest of the year, dog. Actually, for the rest of your career, it is what it is. It's what comes with being a seventh round pick, man, Mr. Irrelevant. So
Mr. Irrelevant,
I get it. I get it. Moving on, man. Jim Harbaugh has went to the Chargers, man. He has left Michigan and headed to Los Angeles to coach the Chargers and Justin Herbert. He has been a winner damn near everywhere he went. Stanford, also a winner with the Niners when it's in his stint. Was a winner at San Diego. Was a winner at Michigan. Winner in the national championship, and now heads to Los Angeles. So I have a question for you guys, man. Does he make them into an instant contender, or is this one of those situations where he might bit off more than he can chew?
I think he'll have a chance to build the organization. I don't think. I think we all observed that roster and over these last 2 seasons and felt like that roster had a chance to compete for what is that, the AFC West?
Yeah.
Every year. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but Denver,
Yeah, Denver, Kansas City, and Las
Raiders,
Vegas. Yeah.
Raiders. Yeah, like we all looked at that roster with those pass rushers he had, um, with his quarterback, with Eckler at running back. I mean, we that roster had a chance to be in the playoffs. So I think he goes in and maximizes, first rebuilds that roster and maximizes the opportunities. I think he's definitely got his franchise quarterback in the building. I really like Justin Herbert. Have been high on him since his rookie year. Um, and I think he has a respectable 8-win season um, in his first dance, and then comes back around the second round with a second draft class and a second off season of being able to acquire some older, more experienced guys, and they make a push for a playoff. I just see that division
That's tough.
as coming back, yep, to be one of the most competitive divisions like it has always been traditionally. I think we all speak on the same level when I say the Raiders are back. I think the brand of football that coaches brought out there to that organization, having those guys playing for one another and actually playing for their coach, that's very rare. But I think people are starting to see that you need to have a leader of your organization that players want to play for. As we've seen the most black coaches hired ever in a hiring cycle in the NFL just took place.
Yeah, man.
So
Shout out to
so
them,
I
man.
think I think that trend is catching on, and guys, owners are showing that they want to win and they want that extra playoff money. So we better catch up with the program and get the best guys in here and stop worrying about things that don't matter. Um, so yeah, I think he has a shot to do some good things. I think it's going to take more time than people believe, but if there's a winner out there that can get it done, you can't deny what this guy has done over his career, man, at every single level.
I agree, man. I rock with Harbaugh, old Niner. How you feel, Miles? You feel like they can turn them around immediately, or you think it's gonna be a little bit of a process?
Well, I mean, I think that he'll have some instant success just simply because of Justin Herbert. I mean, once you have a quarterback in the building, I think that it takes away half the battle. I think that he reshaped a couple pieces. I think he turns a couple of those old pieces into two or three solid younger pieces. Um, Gain a little bit of capital and bring a couple guys in. I think that they'll have a chance to come out the gate, maybe a 8-9 kind of team, 9-9, maybe out the gate. Maybe sneak into the playoffs, getting towards the end of it. And then I think from there they start to kind of really just rebuild that roster as those expiring contracts are expiring. So um, I think he's gonna have some success. Um, just simply because that's just what he's been doing. So if you just follow his model, I think in three to 4 years, maybe he has LA competing for Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like Jim Harbaugh, man. Shout out to Harbaugh.
For a Super Bowl?
He called me TK.
Did I just hear
Yeah,
him? He
you
said
heard that.
competing for a Super Bowl?
You heard that, man.
The LA Chargers? Ooh
I
wee.
mean, you got Justin Herbert. I mean, now you just got to find ways to protect him, and they got a couple young pieces already. I mean,
I'm actually agree with him. I'm gonna say, man, in about 2 to 3 years, they're definitely gonna be a strong Super Bowl contender, man. Because
I
Wow.
say 3 to 4, man. Yeah, I think I think year I think it's gonna come down to his coordinator hire. I know he's bringing in the guy, his DC from
DC from
Michigan.
Michigan, yes,
Is
sir.
that happening?
Yes, sir.
Not sure what they're doing on offense. I think Greg Roman.
Greg
He's
Owens,
bringing back Greg.
which I no, I don't
That'd
like.
be a huge
I
mistake.
don't like. I don't like Greg. There was talks to kind of compliment joining his staff in some way, shape, or form. That's gonna be interesting to see.
That on Twitter. I haven't really been able to find any kind of
Not substantial. Yeah, it's no traction right now with that, but
I did see that. I definitely see it. So,
I will say Greg Roman would be a terrible hire for Justin Herbert. They definitely don't mix.
Agreed.
You know, and now if they make a trade for Justin Fields, all right, let's talk about it. But that'll be an even wilder idea. Justin Herbert is to me a very qualified quarterback. You know, with the right coaching and tutelage. But I do think Jim Harbaugh is one of those quarterback whisperers that can galvanize Herbert to push him forward in his career, man. I think that's all he's really missing, and a little bit of defense over there in Los Angeles, man. If you got yourself a little bit of a contender out there. Um, Shout out to Antonio Pierce, what he's doing at the Raiders, man. Making like Stu said, making them relevant again. We'll see how they contend next year. It's gonna be interesting to see if they make one of those Detroit-like comebacks, and kind of push the envelope next year to shake up some things in the AFC. I believe it's the AFC North or AFC West, um, out there, man. Uh, so look, man, we're gonna get ready to close this on out, man. I know the Super Bowl's coming up. We got the Chiefs versus the 49ers, a rematch of 2019 Super Bowl, which I believe was Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. The Niners, man, there's an old sign, old meme or a video of Kittle sitting on the sideline. That was his rookie year saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna be back here. You know, we're gonna get back here one day. We're gonna be back." And I really feel like they all have that same mentality. Debo was on that team. Bosa was on that team. Um, early, not too early, but early thoughts of the game, man. What are you kind of expecting?
mm,
I'll say this, Chris. A fool right now goes against Mahomes. His ability to will his team and that offense to score points and continue to make plays and conversions on key downs is just off the charts, man. He's playing beyond coaching. He's got a bunch of average guys at the receiver position. Um, just they're making enough plays. And Travis Kelsey, them guys going, I think it was 11 for 11 or 12 for
they got
12.
they got Taylor Swift too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she'll be at the
I
game.
mean,
Shout out to Taylor Swift, baby. We see you at the game.
hey, do you hear the story of the how she's gonna be at the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
though?
she has a show in
She has
Tokyo
a show in
the night
Tokyo, and then
before.
she's gonna fly because it's two different time zones. She's gonna take the jump on the 12-hour flight after the show and make it in time for kickoff, dog.
Yeah, with these with these. Hey,
That's
I can't
that's
wait to see
love.
y'all in the
That's
building,
love
man.
right there.
Listen, shout out to Taylor man. And
And they said there's been $335 million generated from her and her new love found for the NFL.
yeah, she's definitely getting women involved in sports. That's what they wanted. Want to get her involved in football. Shout out to her and her bringing the swag surf relevance to the uh, um, other communities that haven't really caught on yet. But man, look, hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm excited. I've never been more excited for a Super Bowl match that I feel like I'm the underdog in. Like I honestly feel like you, Patrick Mahomes is one of the goats.
Coming in being the favorite.
Well, we are the favorite per Vegas, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like I'm the underdog. Like as I said before, So I'm going off pure facts. We're I feel like we're the underdog. You said it. Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. He's written himself in history already. And the only way for us to write ourselves in history is to beat him. So we're coming in with the gambler's punch, man. We're coming in with with one of those, hey man, like, we got nothing to lose at this particular point. It is what it is. Everybody's expecting Mahomes to slaughter Brock Purdy. According to Coach Miles, Brock Purdy is average, and you know what average quarterbacks do.
Above
Above average, above average doing a Super Bowl. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited just to see Brock Purdy put a lot of the haters, put a lot of the criticism to rest. I can say all the criticism, but some of it.
I still don't think that's. I mean, that still does not constitute him of being what you say is like
A top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, he's talking about his skill set like alone. It sounds like to me, Chris.
Yeah, I
Like,
get it, and that's why I said the sexy. Some people are just looking at the skill set and saying, well, he doesn't throw the ball 80 yards down the field. He doesn't run a 4.43. He's not 6'5". Like Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have gold blonde hair running down his back when he runs for a first down. It's those things that he doesn't sidearm it when he throws it or throw it cross-eyed. Yeah. Granted, that those skill sets doesn't exist for Brock Purdy. But the one thing that does,
shit, Brock Purdy threw one back across his body for the biggest first down in the game.
he did throw one, but nobody really gave it no love. He's done that before. But we're not going to talk about it. Like I said, he's been doing this for at least the last 2 years since he's gotten his chance, and he's done nothing but what you ask a quarterback to do, which is rarely turn the ball over. Besides that Ravens game, and distribute the ball to the receivers. And if you're gonna get hated for that, if you're gonna be called just a guy for doing your job, then so goddamn be it. He's just the goddamn guy doing his job on a Sunday afternoon, and he's the best goddamn guy doing it. So that's just my take on Brock Purdy. And then closing remarks for the Super Bowl. Miles, how you feel about what's going on with the Super Bowl?
yeah, I haven't really allowed anything to kind of like sink in yet, so I don't really know. Um, do my research and watch my film like I normally do. And I'm gonna make my assumptions later, and it'll, it'll be spot on when I come. So, um, but I think it's gonna be a good game. Hopefully, and we'll we'll see. We'll see how this thing shakes out.
All right, man. Lots of storylines to look into with the next couple of weeks. Playoff football has been amazing so far. It's been a lot of great games. We see the Super Bowl coming up with the Chiefs versus the 49ers in the rematch of 2019 Super Bowl. Brock Purdy versus Mahomes. McCaffrey versus Pacheco. Debo versus Rasheed Rice. Kittle versus Kelsey, part 2. This is gonna be one of those games, man, and I hope it's a good one. I just hope it's not a blowout either which way. I actually do hope it's a good game. And I can't wait to see it, man. Great talking to a great show today. Great talking to you too. Good talking to you, Miles. This is your boy Coach Chris.
It's your boy Coach Miles.
Dude.
Coach Sue, baby.
Yes, sir. We out, baby. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.